Hi everybody, this is Andrew Langridge from Elevate Physiotherapy. I'm bringing you week 6, the final week of the 3 Rings Axon Challenge. So today's mobility session is going to be some of the more advanced mobility techniques. So hopefully you've been doing all the stuff we were doing previously to help prep you for these movements here. So the first thing we're going to do is a 90-90 hip movement. So you're going to be on the ground here, front hip at 90 here, back hip here. And this is going to be an active mobility movement. So you're going to be here, chest up, and then what you're going to do is we're going to alternate positions of each leg. So it's going to look like this. Hold for a couple seconds, and then back over. So working on really opening up hip external rotation here, internal rotation here. We're getting some rotation through the lower back. And it's also a little bit of movement control itself. The first couple times you do this, it's probably going to feel pretty awkward to you because you're activating some muscles in ways that you probably haven't too often. But this is a good way to see how much hip flexibility you truly have. So we've been working on a lot of movements that open up hip external and internal rotators throughout the last few weeks of the challenge. So this is kind of a full can we do it. Now, if you need to, you can take things and prop them up underneath here, and that can help get you in this position and get comfortable there, and then move them down until you're able to get to the floor, and then you can start doing the active movement here. So we'll do a couple more, just back and forth. And sometimes if you're having trouble with the movement part of it, just getting in that position can help just make that position feel normal. So you might not be here and moving today, you might just be in this position and then alternating, to the other position here like this. And that's perfectly fine for now. But the goal is to be able to work on that movement. So all right, so that's number 1. All right, the next thing we're going to do is called the world's greatest stretch. So this is going to be working on hip flexor mobility, thoracic and lower back flexibility as well. So we're going to start off in this tall kneeling position here, hands on the inside, and then you're going to come up into this like runner's position here, and then you're going to take this inside arm and you're going to rotate up towards the ceiling. Hold for a couple seconds, come back down. So here we're getting a hip flexor stretch on this side, posterior hip here. We're getting a little bit of ankle flexibility on the back here as our calf gets stretched, and then we're getting rotation through the upper back, stretching the front part of the shoulder, reaching up, and some mobility through the low back as well. All right, let's go ahead and switch positions. So be able to see it from both sides here. Again, start off in kind of this half kneeling position. Hands come on the inside, knee comes up, and then rotate up, come back down. All right, now we're going to move on to the pretzel stretch. So it's going to feel like you're being put into a pretzel. So you're going to lie on your side, bottom leg stays straight down, right leg comes up to 90 degrees. This arm is going to reach and pull your knee down to the ground, and then you're going to reach behind you here and pull your heel up to your butt, and then try to pull that top shoulder down towards the floor. So the bottom leg, we're getting that hip extended and knee bent to get our hip flexors and quads. The front here, we're getting a posterior hip stretch, and then we're getting some rotation through the spine. Now, I don't want you to push this to the point where it feels really painful. It's just like anything else. If you're right in this position here and that's as good as you can do, that's perfectly fine. Over time, it'll continue to get better, but these are just some good movements that are going to incorporate a lot of different aspects of mobility all together. And if you're able to do these pretty easily, I mean, it means that you've got pretty good general flexibility. So it's kind of a good way to test yourself. So obviously we're not moving in and out of this position. We're just going to hold there for a period of time. Perfect. Now let's flip onto your other side, and we'll go through the setup one more time. So on your left side, your left leg is straight. Your right leg is bent up to 90 degrees. Your hand's going to hold this knee down. You're going to reach back and grab your foot. And then you're going to drive that shoulder down towards the floor. Now, if you need to, if you're at home and you can't reach this bottom foot, go ahead and grab like a dog leash or a band or something like that and hook it around your ankle or foot, and then that can help you pull it up towards your butt. All right, go ahead and come on out of there. Now the last thing we're going to do is we're going to work on getting into a deep squatted position. Now I'm going to show you a couple different variations for people who might struggle with it. So if you're someone who's struggling with the balance aspect of it, of getting down into this deep squatted position, what you can do is you can grab a foam roller, a chair or something to keep your hand on, and you can squat down into that position. If you're someone who can't get all the way down here, maybe you're using this for some balance and you're just squatting down to here, okay? But what we want to do is we want to work on getting down into this position. Now, if you can get into this position, a good way to check on your like upper back flexibility and shoulder flexibility is in this position, you're going to put your thumbs up towards the ceiling and just reach up overhead and just see how well you can maintain that position. So I'll show it to you from the side. Feet about shoulder width. If you're someone who's a little bit taller, your squat stance might look a little bit different, so you might have to go a little bit wider than shoulder width. But again, you'll be here, deep squat position, back stays nice and flat, and then again, we're reaching up over our head and come back down, okay? Now, if you're somebody who, as you're doing that, you're finding that your heels are popping up off the ground before you get down to the low position, that means you have some ankle flexibility issues, which is pretty common, but all you have to do is take something, whether it's a pillow or I've got some knee protectors here, you put your heels up on it, and then you could squat down a little bit easier into that position. Now the other thing you can do when you get down here is you can rock from side to side, pushing those knees out to the side a little bit. And then again, like I said, getting your arms all the way up over your head, full expression of good flexibility from head to toe with the deep squat. The deep squat is something that it does take a lot of flexibility and motor control in general. So early on, you shouldn't be spending a lot of time down it. Just get in, hold for a couple seconds, and come back up. But it's a good barometer of hip mobility, lower back mobility, knee, ankle, all of it. So getting your arms up overhead just adds a component of upper back flexibility as well as shoulder flexibility as well. So that's kind of like the gold standard of mobility is the overhead squat and getting into that deep squat position. So that'll be it.